Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. And today we talk with John Hubbard, creator of the online course Get Better Testimonials. And he's joining us from Melbourne, Australia. John Hubbard is a business consultant, mentor, strategic advisor, expert in direct response marketing, branding, and content marketing. So, John, how can one use testimonials in content marketing?
Well, Tom, thank you very much for having me on the show. Testimonials and case studies are actually a really terrific addition to your content marketing. In fact, in a recent survey by LinkedIn, they were voted the 2 most effective content marketing tactics for generating leads in a B2B survey. And that's really because in a world that's getting more and more cynical, 9 out of 10 customers trust what a customer has to say about a company more than what a company says about itself. So if you can be including your customer success stories in your content marketing, that's a really great plus, because we know that's one thing that really moves the needle. And that can be really simple to do. In fact, if you're, for instance, in let's say a podcast, for instance, and you've got a premise that you're going to put across. It can be as simple as stating the premise and then stating an example immediately after that. Now, if your audience resonates with what that example that you're sharing is, for instance, the problem that one of your clients was having, the audience will automatically lean forward to that because it's relevant to them. Then if you're able to show the after picture and the resolution of that problem, that's really interesting to the audience. Purely out of self-interest, I'm leaning forward saying, okay, that applies to me. That's valuable information.
Now, you say you're speaking to people, right? And you're asking for testimonials for companies or also for the person in the company, or both?
Well, they can be used lots of ways, but typically the people that I'm working with are businesses that are, for instance, consultants or coaches or course creators. But it can be really any type of business, but they've done a lot of work for people over the years. They've got great results, but they haven't necessarily been showcasing those results in their marketing, in any form of marketing. And so most of that comes from just the hurdle of reaching out. And one of the things that I do is just make people a lot more comfortable with reaching out to their clients and asking for testimonials. And most of that is just putting a system in place to make it easy for their customers to provide testimonials. And once we get over that hurdle, the testimonials really start flowing in.
Well, I saw from your course of Getting Better Testimonials, so where you're educating the person and asking better so that he does get a positive response.
Yes, exactly. There's a big difference, between not all testimonials are created equally. And what we really want in a good testimonial is a little short mini story, a little human interest story. And it's a story of transformation. So what was the problem or the hurdle or the roadblock they faced before working with you? And then, so that's our before picture. And then we want an after picture, which is the resolution of that problem. So a good story is really tension and resolution. So the resolution, we call it the resolution and reward. What was the resolution of them, the solution that you provided them, which is really by extension showcasing your product, and what was the quantifiable result ideally? So in a perfect world, what we want to have is a number there, number of weeks saved, number of times revenue, or it could be number of hours sleep per night since doing the program, whatever that is. Specifics is really a great thing to have in your marketing. So if we can have a quantifiable result in that reward, that really is the icing on the cake.
Well, you get to the point really where we say seeing is believing and people want to see.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's if you put yourself in the shoes of a consumer, as we said, most people, we're so accustomed to people making big promises online. Most of us have run into some kind of charlatans. We've probably bought something that didn't live up to all the hype. But if you can show me someone else like me that's already got the result that I want to get, and they were once in my pre-purchase shoes, then that just makes it a whole lot more believable. So it's really about just showing and not telling.
And authenticity and all of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that is really important when gathering a video testimonial in particular is to do an interview, because when doing an interview, it's really just a conversation that the person is having. What we find is, and goes back to that earlier point about making it really easy for your customers to provide testimonials.
Right.
A pre-recorded testimonial where there you say to them, hey, Tom, can you record me a video testimonial? I'm putting all the onus of responsibility for that testimonial's content onto you. So you're thinking, what am I going to say? I hope I say the right thing. What does he want? And you can't possibly know my target audience or all the hot buttons that I need to hit in my marketing. So that really is a bit unfair of me to put all that onus of responsibility onto you. But if I have done my preparation and you come and just give me a 15-minute interview and I know all of my audience's problems and I'm looking for that overlap in your story, then we're only after a couple of sound bites to really use that to walk away with a really powerful testimonial. And it's been no preparation for you. You've just showed up, answered a few questions, and off you go.
Hopefully smile and say things are great.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, even in failure, I think a testimonial when somebody fails can also be positive, can it?
Yeah, well, often it is. It's a story of transformation and often the start of that transformation is where they've been running into roadblocks or whether they be mental or whatever the process is. But ideally, the higher the contrast between the before picture and the after picture, the better. That's what really makes for a rich story.
Very good. Well, John, how can our listeners find you?
Best place to find me would be on LinkedIn if you look for John Hubbard, or if you'd like to check out my course, it's getbettertestimonials.com.
And the course, Get Better Testimonials, that's for anybody in the world, right? It's not only for Australians.
Yes, that's correct. It's for anyone in the world. Most of my clients are overseas. We work together in a 5-week program, and you've got the course material, and we basically work together to tailor the requests for your clients, and then we go about setting those interviews. I work with you to form the questions for those interviews, and then we've got some really simple solutions to edit those videos and get them out into the world and leverage them inside your business.
So you make it a custom fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the principles remain the same, but we're really just tailoring that to each individual company's circumstances. Very
good, John. Well, thanks again for being part.
My pleasure, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And then for our listeners, it's John Hubbard, John, the last name Hubbard, and you'll find him at getbettertestimonials.com and also on LinkedIn. Remember, you can find more information about John Hubbard at getbettertestimonials.com. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus Semi-Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.